I've got a lot of learning to do and I'm learning every day as best as I can. So those are the two big business ones. Other than that, I've lost money in smaller projects, a couple of $100, couple of $100 here in different various projects. But in terms of the real estate side, boy, have I lost money in that. Hey everyone, it's Opie here for another video where I talk about health, wealth and happiness. So today's going to be about wealth, or the loss of it, or how much money I've lost in different business adventures, mentors, and all of the stuff that I've done over the years. So let me try and backtrack and give you some context. So throughout this vlog series, I've hyped on about some of my successes, but I just want you to know that it's not all high and glory. Sometimes I've lost a ton of money, and I just wanted to share this with you so you can actually have some context and let you know that there might be some light at the end of the tunnel. Obviously, if you make a decision that's so bad, it may ruin you for an extended period of time, but you can bounce back. So one of the biggest losses that I've had was when I ended up putting some money into like a mentorship guidance program with this dude. And I ended up putting in about $40,000 US, I think. I'm trying to think. I can't remember if it was Aussie or US dollars. Yeah, that was my biggest failure. And I did make some money out of that deal, but it was nowhere near what I needed to make to even recover the tuition cost. And when I look back at it, I couldn't see it at the time, but it was one big scam. I should have seen the signs, but I didn't. And I made the foolish mistake of putting some money down, trying to learn, trying to get ahead. And it was a flop. What can you do? Live and learn. So that's probably the biggest one that I've lost money on, So I'm down about 40K. I can't remember if it was US or still trying to figure it out. Can't remember. Anyway, I'll move on. Then the other one was another program where I spent 10K on it. Money down the toilet. Both of these ventures had a common theme. The common theme was that these mentors were getting me to rely on a third-party platform that I had no control over. In this occasion, the platforms were Facebook and Amazon. If Amazon and Facebook had gripes with what I was doing in the way I was conducting business, anything, even if a word was incorrectly done, if my competitor had complained about me, they would shut me down, which is exactly what happened on both of those occasions. So I was not controlling the platform because they were owned by third-party companies. So if you can take away anything from my failures or learning opportunities, if you will, be really careful on going down paths where you're not controlling not only the audience, but also the platform as well. You've got no control over that. You're relying on a giant tech company to keep your business up and running, alive. So really be careful of this. And I am obviously aware of what's going on here, because obviously I'm making these videos, putting up on YouTube, and I get it. I get that I am relying on a third party, but on this particular occasion, I'm actually not doing it to make money. I'm doing this so I can get some of my teachings out, and hopefully my kids will watch it one day and learn from it. And if anyone else wants to watch it and learn as well, so be it. So on this occasion, thank goodness this isn't a money-making venture. That's not a factor in this equation. So I'll put it down there. So those are the two big business ones. Other than that, I've lost money in smaller projects, a couple of $100, couple of $100 here in different various projects. But in terms of the real estate side, boy, have I lost money in that. So I ended up buying a block of land in a suburb called Melton. I don't know if and this was a few years ago. It was going for relatively cheap, as I thought at the time. What happened was someone had put in a certain amount of money, and they didn't have to pay that the rest of the money until settlement, which was about an 18-month period. But the 18-month had come around, and this person couldn't settle on it. So I had the opportunity to buy it at the price that they initially secured that piece of land for, where potentially I had a 30 grand upside, because I could potentially buy it and flip it off for a couple, within a few months with a 30 grand upside. All good in theory, but as soon as I bought it, the market turned, and I was holding on to this block of land for 2 years. And here's what you got to know. This is just a side note, because I know you love my side notes. If you're holding on to a block of land and there's no income coming in, nothing on that is tax deductible. You're not getting any sort of benefit at all. It's all outgoings. You're still having to pay your water bills for having the water supply connected there. You're still having to pay rates, and occasionally you're having to pay for people to clean out that block of land as well, because people end up dumping rubbish onto it, as well as any mortgage that you have. So holding to bare land only works if you've got deep pockets and if there's a proper strategy in place. Long story short, I ended up buying that for $130,000. This was about a decade ago. I ended up holding on for 2 years, and I sold it for $10K less. So, and there was holding costs as well. So all up, I lost about $30,000 in that deal. That's actually the only deal that I've actually lost money. Thank goodness in terms of real estate. But that was a hard lesson for me to learn, that, wow, just because you have land, it doesn't mean that it's going to make you money. So 30 grand lost there. Another one that I keep losing money, but I'm trying to rectify that is, as you know, I've got, I've run a bunch of rooming houses, and some of the tenants that I end up getting, roommates that end up getting, are from a low socio-economic background. This doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just that it is what it is. That's this type of demographic that I am attracting. One dude has left and done a runner on me, owing me about $7,000. It's a long story on how it got that high, and there's been a handful of others where they owe me $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. I've got a guy at the moment that I'm trying to get rid of that is about a month and a half late on his rent, so he owes me about $1,500, maybe more. So I've lodged something to VCAT, and I'm waiting for a possession order to get him out. The old OP would have gone there and just asked him to leave, but now I'm trying to follow the proper process and get him to leave, because I need to rent out this place and start getting some money in, because just because he's not paying me rent doesn't mean I don't have a mortgage to satisfy every week, and the bank's not gonna give me any leeway, right? This is the conundrum, right? When you are renting a property, you think, hey, this is a rich landlord, he'll be fine. No, it's not. It's sometimes the margins are wafer thin, that you are really relying on that rent to pay the mortgage and the outgoings, because that doesn't stop unless you say you've got hardship or some sort of that nature, and you can't pull that off every single time. Thank goodness I haven't had to pull that hardship card, not even during COVID. But there's only so much that you can do with the bank. So yeah, so these are all the ways that I have managed to lose money. I have hopefully learned some lessons, but some lessons I'm still learning the hard way. All in all, the point of this video is to let you know that I'm not some hotshot, because some of the other videos, that's maybe how it came across, and I definitely don't wanted to come across that way. I've got a lot of learning to do, and I'm learning every day as best as I can. I have, as I said, lost a bunch of money, but it's all relative, right? I've lost tens of thousands, maybe, 50, 60, 70, 80 grand all up, let's say. When you compare that to an uncle that I saw last September, having a chat with him, he's done really well for himself. And he went through a tough time a couple of years ago during the downturn. And he said just roughly he's lost about 2 mil. Compared to his net worth, it's all relative. But he said, and that's 2 mil US. So that he's just have to, in his mind, he's had to write off. And often with my debt, I've had to do the same as well. But again, it's all relative on what you lose, what you make, and what you invest in, and what you save. So I hope this is not a disheartening video. This is just to let you know that if you've lost money as well in different projects, different business ventures, I hope you learn from it. I hope you are able to overcome that and rise above it and put it as a learning opportunity and just go out there and smash it as much as you can in terms of putting new deals in place. All the best. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.